these headlines are grabbing a lot of investors right now because some folks are trying to find or call a top in oil prices. Is this possible OPEC action going to do anything to dent what's happening in the oil markets right now?
I think we've already seen from the FT report alone that prices did drop this morning on just the possibility of more supply coming into the market. Now, it's impossible to really predict what will happen because it has to be a unanimous agreement. All members of the OPEC Plus group must agree to whatever action, whether to keep the status quo or, in fact, increase production. But just looking at the numbers, just looking at the facts here, the market does need this additional supply. From the JTC report yesterday, which is the technical committee that technocrats usually have this meeting ahead of the OPEC Plus ministerial, from the report we saw that stocks were revised downwards. Demand was revised downwards. And we all know that there's an issue with supply. Prices are going up. Demand during the summer period is up. China's coming out of COVID lockdowns. So all of these factors really point to a need for OPEC Plus to add more production. Whether or not the group agrees on this today is something to be seen in the coming hours.
So one of those, we've heard it so many times from different experts out there about this kind of old saying in the markets that the best cure for high prices is high prices. This is something that many producers are struggling with, whether they can take advantage of those prices right now. Is there a sense among some of the oil-producing countries within OPEC Plus that they would be able to take advantage, generally speaking, of these higher prices by putting more supply on market without having to really hit the price of oil in a meaningful way?
Well, there's the point of demand destruction, too. I mean, if you have prices going up to a level where it kind of curtails demand, now that's the danger. Adding more supply to the market at a season, as I mentioned, it's the summer season, it's the driving season in the U.S. at this time might help gauge more demand and help these producers really capture value from the prices we're seeing.
Okay, so if that is the case, then we talk about this in this report that President Biden may, according to some sources, be looking to make this kind of possible meeting with Saudi Arabia at some point down the line. How important is it to the energy markets here in the United States and for some of those gasoline prices that are affecting many of us here domestically in the U.S.? How important is it for President Biden to get some kind of an agreement or deal to get oil back flowing again? Or can the U.S. change its own policies so that we can put more supply on market ourselves?
When it comes to market management and really, I mean, just controlling all the fundamentals here, I believe that all roads lead to Riyadh. That's where, I mean, that's where the decisions are made. And I mean, Saudi Arabia is a heavyweight in the market. So over the past couple of weeks, we've seen reports of U.S. officials going to Riyadh. We've heard positive things about these meetings happening in Riyadh, followed by the news which you just mentioned, that President Biden will indeed be going to Riyadh to hold further talks. But at the same time, I just want to remind that, I mean, there have been previous requests from the U.S., from Saudi Arabia and the rest of OPEC Plus to increase production, and we haven't seen this happening. I think for the OPEC Plus group, it has to be a decision that's taken within the group. It's not going to be a unilateral decision, and it won't really be as a result of political pressure per se. It would be just the right time to add supply to the market and would make sense. And just given the factors that I've mentioned now, including the data that we've seen from the JTC report on demand forecasts and China coming out of lockdowns, et cetera, perhaps now would be the right time to do this.